the holy water bucket, when some people see it, they fear. As I went through, I sprinkled some people with holy water, and I'm hit. They were a little taken aback. People flinch, they gasp when they are hit with holy water. Some people fear it. And I do remember, though, I was told before I came here that Father Bill was famous for sprinkling people with holy water, so much so that on the last Sunday of Easter, some people wore raincoats to Mass. So people react when we pull out the holy water bucket. It's the same way people react when we pull out incense. When I pull out incense for the funeral, we may not have lit the incense at all, but people start coughing and gasping. I'm like, come on, folks, we haven't even lit it yet. There's two reactions to holy water and how we use it. First of all, voluntarily, we dip our fingers in the baptismal font or in the holy water font. It's become rote or second nature to us, and we don't really have to think about it. But if we do, it's important that we dip our fingers in the baptismal font. It's a reminder, first of all, that we are baptized, and that we mark ourselves with the sign of the cross. We remind ourselves when we do that is that we are claimed for Christ, and first claimed by our baptism. And that cross inspires us to carry that cross each and every day. And then we sign ourselves. We touch our mind, our heart, and our shoulders to remind us that our minds ought to think the thoughts of Christ, that our hearts should be filled with the love and the joy that Christ gives to us, and our shoulders are for carrying the cross that we have to pick up and carry every single day. We choose to put our fingers in the holy water font or in the baptismal font. We do that on our own, but then Dearhammer or any other priest comes along to sprinkle the people. And once again, the reactions are kind of shocking. People don't know what to do. Some people flinch or pull away from it. Well, I would hope that people would embrace it. Hold up your faces. Let the baptismal water hit you. Please accept it. Don't flinch away from it. It's a shocking reminder of our baptismal call. It wakes us up. And by this water, God is saying to us, you are my beloved son. You are my beloved daughter, in whom I am well pleased. And so we are beloved. We are included in the kingdom of heaven. We are cherished sons and daughters of God, and indeed we are blessed. We suffer too. We have our problems and our struggles each and every day. But we know that we are the beloved sons and daughters of God. And maybe we don't hear that often enough. And sometimes maybe we don't even believe it. Can you hear God say to you this evening, you are my beloved son. You are my beloved daughter, in whom I am well pleased. And so God says to us, you are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. And we might respond, well, what about that thing I did a long time ago? What about my impatience? What about the people I don't like? What about that failed marriage I had? What about the argument I had with my spouse, my kids, my friends, my co-workers?
You are my beloved.
That's right. I'm not perfect. I am flawed. I do the things I don't want to do and don't do the things I know I should do.
I am well pleased.
It doesn't mean that we don't try to improve on who we are, but we can say openly, truly, that we are loved, even with our faults, and we don't have to earn God's love. And so today I would ask you, are there doubts, fears, guilt, hurts, worries, unworthiness in your heart and mind? Lay those today in front of the altar in our prayer, because God says to us, you are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. This week, you could say that to yourself each and every day. When you get down, when you get anxious and worried about things, when you are fearful, you could say, I am God's beloved, and He is pleased in me. Maybe even write it down and put it on the mirror in your bathroom, or maybe on the refrigerator in your house, or in your car. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. And so I invite you to think about that phrase, and use that phrase this week to think about your relationship with God and others. And one more thing, sign yourself purposefully with that water. Not just a little bit, use a lot of it. And when we do sprinkle you, don't flinch. Don't try to shy away. Welcome that waters that says, you are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. And you know what? I'm going to go through church again. And you're like, oh no. But I will. I'm going through church again. And when that water hits you, think about that. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. Yeah, I was serious. Well, maybe not you.
You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased.
You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased.
You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased.
You are my beloved, whom I am well pleased.
You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased.
You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased.
You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased.